Greetings as I wait for the last of you guys tuned in this morning to I'm sorry, I had a little something to complete some packages, some yummy burger and some packages. If you want to know what I'm talking about, what the package is, we up and going with the shipping for the Yummy Cottage. So yummycottage.com, theYummyCottage.com. We'll talk more about that, and you can go over there, see what it is we have. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. So I'll come back to that. I was talking about respect and why he doesn't respect you, or why she doesn't respect the man, right? Let me go back and see exactly what I was talking about, Amuna. Sometimes. But what I find wild is sometimes when I'm here and I'm just listening, because I'm working with my hands, so I'm just listening. And so I was listening to divorce court again to pick out certain principles. And almost to the T, I said, I have to share it. This is unlike me. You know what I'm saying? But hey, why not? I had to share it because it was case in point. It was case in point. Okay, let me see. I had to share what they were talking about and some of the points that I was bringing out, as well as some of the comments that we had. Only so that I can wrap it up in a nice little bow. Hold on. So this is not the other computer, so you're only going to listen to it through my cell phone because I'm at the shop. So it's not the other computer. So this one is called Brown versus Brown. With how ironic is that? Brown versus Brown. But I want to put a pause. I want to put a pause. I want to put a pause. Okay. Why doesn't his woman respect him? That was what I was talking about this morning. And we got some feedback on that. I wanted to quickly play a little bit. I'm going to have to demonetize this video because, whatever. It makes the point, so, it's all good. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Javon wants me to be the perfect wife and mother.
What husband don't want his wife to be a superwoman woman? I know it ain't finna happen. I just want you to do your best.
Javon wants me to dress sexy, have sex with him 2 or 4 times a day.
There's 2 things the wife should not do. Not let her husband go out hungry, and she should not let her husband go out horny.
Okay, can you guys hear? Let me know if you guys can hear. The complaint is, it sounds low to me. The complaint is that he wants her to cook, clean, and satisfy his. Yeah, it's busy Sunday, but hey, what you gonna do? I was like, you know what? It made the point exactly, Jason. I couldn't help it. I was like, before I lose the thought, we can hear? All right, hold on. Before I lose the thought, I like illustrations. I like illustrations. So he says the woman shouldn't let the man leave the house hungry, shouldn't let the man leave the house horny. And so they're having this contention. And we're going to get to the respect issue in a minute. Hold on one second. And I'm waiting for the pot to finish. Hold on, y'all. This computer is tripping. I'm not even about to shut it down here. Hold on, let me close some of these windows. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Hold on. B-O-L-U-M-E. Okay, adjust volume. All right. Come on, man. Oh, there goes the pot. Oh, here we are. Well, it's up. Okay, you guys say you could hear it, so here we go while I go check the pot.
Javon, I want you to stop being so high maintenance.
I feel like we can be a good team, but we always fight because she wants to do her part. Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Rashawn Brown and Javon Brown. The 2 of you have been together for 13 years, married for 11. Your marriage is in trouble. That's why you're here. Mrs. Brown, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me about your relationship and why we're here today?
Your Honor, I am here today because I love my husband. But, Your Honor, my husband wants me to be a perfect wife and a perfect mother. He wants me to dress sexy all of the time, Your Honor. He wants me to cook and clean. And he wants me to have sex 2, 3, 4 times a day, Your Honor.
So you heard the complaint out the gate. I'm sorry. The complaint out the gate is that he wants perfection. He wants. Hold on one second. I'm trying. I don't have the other thing right now. He wants, according to her, it's too much stress. He wants too many things. I'm trying to sit this thing up. We gotta rig it today, y'all. Let's go.
And I'm just overwhelmed by it, and I don't want to
We
be.
need to establish some parameters. You work outside of the home. Is that accurate?
I do.
Yeah. How many hours a week do you work?
Your Honor, I put in at least 40 to 50 hours a week.
40 to 50 hours a week. Do you disagree with that?
Yes, I do.
How much work do you say she does outside of the home?
I would say she works probably 24 hours a day. That means all she talk about and do is that her business that she's in.
Oh, okay. But she,
Okay, so wait. The contention is that now she works. Not only does he want her, they have children together, a home together. She needs to take care of him, but she also works. I was like, interesting. So she works, and she asks how much do you work a week, and he's like about 40, 50 hours, and he says no, she works 24 hours a day, meaning her mind, her thoughts are always on the business. So I'm like, well, that's weird. He's there. Why is she always only thinking about business? Okay.
she does spend a lot of time doing that.
I don't make time for nothing.
Yeah. So that's your complaint is that she's not doing her wife stuff because she's so busy doing the business.
Remember what we were talking about? Respect. I just want to keep stopping because perfect illustration. He's concerned that she is coming out of her position as a feminine principal that's supposed to nourish and take care of the home, and now her main concern is getting that bag, right?
Being a good wife.
Okay, so me personally, I feel like she don't need to do everything. She'll wash the clothes, like the clothes be in a basket for days before she put them up.
When I wash them, you need to put them up.
Can y'all hear? Because I'm straining to hear. Let me know if you can hear good or if I'm tripping. I feel like I'm straining to hear. I don't know why this is so low. This is really low.
But what she not telling you is, when before I put a washing machine and dryer in the house, I used to take clothes to the laundry man, and I'll wash them,
And I'll
clean
put
them,
them up.
and I'll put them up.
You lying.
And I'll put them
We got
after
a
I get
washing
off work.
machine. Now we got a washing machine. She washes, but she doesn't put them up.
No, I don't feel like I should have to get off of work and then and put the clothes
I
up
work
too.
too.
You have to see the look he gave her. I don't want to do the whole vision thing. But the look he gave her is like, okay, he feels that this is your position, right? And this is, I provide, so you should be in this space and you should take care of this thing. So I shouldn't have to leave my space, which is the getting the monies for the household to come and do what you should be doing. And her response is, remember what I said earlier today about the reasons why people respect or disrespect? Her response is, I work too, meaning I'm doing your job as well. You know what I mean? I'm out there trying to get money for the household as well. So now they're having a respect issue, right?
And that's what I mean by her.
Do you want her to work less
I want-
outside the home? Do you think that she spends too much time making money as opposed to making a home?
She definitely ain't spending too much time making money, but she's spending too much time not making a home.
Well, if I can,
She's out, but she's not making any money.
Well,
You're not making any money, Mrs. Brown?
Your Honor, I am a real estate agent and I just got my license. So in order for me to build up my clientele, I have to be out there hustling. I do Uber, I do Lyft, and I, go out and try to prospect for clients. I have one client that, thank you.
So she's a mother. She has children. She's a wife. She does Uber, she does Lyft, and she just got her real estate license. That sounds like the sister has a lot going on. But yet still she has a husband. She's not a single mother. She's not leftovers. She has a husband who is saying, and I'm gonna come and read the comments. Definitely read the comments in the box. She has a husband who is saying, you're doing all of that, but that's not what I want you to do. You know what I mean? You're in the wrong space.
I just got my license in May. I already have a listing, and I'm working on it. And if he would just give me a chance, Your Honor, when I go into the office to work, he blows up my phone, calling me, asking me, where you at? Where you at? Come up to the barbershop and help me out at the barbershop. I drop everything and I go up there to be a supportive wife. When I get up there, because he say it's so busy up there, I go up there, Your Honor, ain't nothing happening up there. He just want me up there.
Mr. Brown, now let me ask you. Your wife has got her hustle on. She's trying to get out there and make some money, make things easier, make things. Don't you respect the hustle?
I absolutely.
Why she looking at him like that? She's like,
myself, so I respect the game. I want to see some results though, and I don't want it to be at the expense of our future. Like, you know, if we not together as husband and wife, then that's gonna be messing up with the children. The children grow up and they gonna think like family ain't that important. Like a career is more important. If I'm going out here making money is more important. And this is what I try to explain to her. I said, listen, baby. Get up when you get up in the morning, you get the kids off to school and stuff like that. Set a certain time out for your business. Don't, if somebody calling at 10 o'clock at night, wait till the next day. Tell them you're gonna get back to them doing your business
That's
hours.
true.
Make it organized. That way you will have time to handle the cooking and the kids with their homework.
why she looked at him like that?
I mean, I do.
Look, I gotta see the way she looked at him. Again, remember what I talked about. A stay-at-home mother in this world is not respected. So there's a struggle between what you need to do to get respect or to have value in the marketplace versus what your family needs from you. I spoke about that earlier, right? If you could just go back a few hours and see some of the points that I was making. So right now, the two of them are missing each other because he's saying, I need you to be a stay at home. But what she's saying non-verbally is that I am not secure enough to do that. And this is why I'm going about the things the way that I'm going about it. So let's continue to listen.
And I think you want good things, but what you want a full-time wife who also makes money.
Exactly.
There are sacrifices that have to be made, and she's not going to make a lot of money in the beginning because she's getting started. But once she starts selling a few homes, you're going to see a lot of money. So you can't be.
That's why I'm misunderstood. Like, and I don't know why. Like, if I'm conveying that, because she thinks the same thing that I'm talking about money. No, I feel like I do enough to provide for the family. I know I can be doing better, but I will do better if I feel better. If I have a wife and she just all over the place, I can't sit her down and we can't communicate. We can't have a conversation and come to some common ground.
His common ground is me doing whatever he tell me to do. That's common ground for him. He just want it done his way or no way at all.
Remember what we just talked about? What I'm giving you should be enough. What happens when she says it's not enough? He's saying, I think I could be doing more, but it's kind of your fault because if you supported me, then I would do more. So she loses respect for him. I mean, we just had this conversation, but let me continue. I got to take the stuff out the pot. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me see how much time I got.
Brown some love over here. Do you make time for the marriage, though? And I'm not talking about cooking and cleaning, because but do you make time to make sure that that your husband feels like he's in a relationship and not just a drive-by?
I do, Your Honor. Every single day, I'm there with him in the morning. After me and him both take the kids to school together, we come home together. I make us smoothies, you know. I even go to work with him some days and sit at the front desk and greet customers and make sure they sign in and just be that support system there. And
She come to the job. And I mean, she's very professional. She's a beautiful woman. So when the cousins come in and make them feel good, like, oh yeah, this is a
But
nice.
she does do that.
Yeah, she does it sometimes. She talking about a smoothie. Ask her the last time she made me a smoothie. And when was the last time before that? She probably did it once. When the last time you made a smoothie? Made me a meal or anything? And then, okay,
Okay, all right. I think we need to get together on who's doing
He
what
tight about that smoothie.
and why it's that person's job.
after I had my last child, Javon was not supportive of me. at all. Javon was
So
not.
before, wait, hold on one second. So right now, it sounds like she's kind of off. Like, yo, he's there. You know, he has a business. You guys have children. He wants the children to have a holistic household. It all sounds like she's kind of tripping. You know, but you have to hear the fullness of the matter. Put your thoughts in the box 1 second. Let me pull my product out the pot real quick, and I'll be right back. I want to listen too. So give me 1 second. Put your thoughts in the box. I'll be back. All right, all right. Gotta get that yummy stuff popping. Okay.
There for me, he was out partying while I was at home changing diapers. I suffer from postpartum depression, which led to me being an angry drunk. I was drinking 2 bottles of wine per night, Your Honor.
Okay, so now we talk about accountability. We talking about where the respect was lost. We talking about why she doesn't respect you. So when she started off by saying he wanted access to her procreative portions of her body 3-4 times a day. When you plant that much seed, the chances of you coming forth with children, unless you're doing something to block the passage of souls into the earth, that the chances are higher because you're doing it continuously. So now she's saying when the result, the product, the act comes forth, which is children, postpartum depression, which is a real thing. It is a real thing that many women go through. Now you have a whole new life to help grow and develop. You have your entire other life that you have to deal with, and you have no support system. So she said that caused her to spiral to where she became a drunk. She was drinking 2 bottles of wine a day, and he was off doing whatever it is he does, right? So it all sounds good in the beginning until it turns. So this is the places where people begin to lose respect. But let me continue. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
My understanding, Mrs. Brown, is that not only do you think that his demands for household duties are excessive, but he has demands on you personally with respect to how you dress and all of that you think are excessive. Speak to that.
Well, Your Honor, he wants me to dress sexy all of the time. For example, he picked out this dress. When we go shopping, he wants to.
Wait a minute, I missed some of these comments. Hold on. So right now he's into the, how I think you should dress. Remember, I talked about this, like whether or not he's protective or too protective. It really can throw the relationship either which way. Jason says he can't lie. When he was in his 20s, he used to wear his girlfriend out. I'm done with you, Jason. Ruth says 4 times a day, that brother is draining too much of his life off. That's true. That is true. Men need to talk to men about letting go too much of your life force. They need to understand what that is. And her working should be optimal at the least. If she chooses not to, mandatory. He's not handling his business as a provider. Oops. And he's kind of right, though. It's what is the cost of doing those remedial jobs. She could be doing a lot more with her time. Coping mechanisms aiding through alcohol. Yep.
If I like something and he may like something else, I always end up getting what he wants me to wear.
Mr. Brown, is that accurate or is something else going on?
This the thing. I can't tell her nothing. She her own woman, and I ain't the boss of her, and she ain't gonna let me be the boss of her. She wears something, it's because she wanna wear it. I tell her, matter of fact, I tell her don't if I'm not around because I don't want her safety and.
So you tell her what to wear when?
Not when, not like that, dog. I just say if you're gonna dress something like that, come on, look at her. If she wearing something like that, probably not that flamboyant, but if she wearing like some leggings or something like that,
You don't want
and she
her,
go, not when she doing
when she's
Uber,
not with you.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, when
it's
she
not- Let me
no.
ask you. We're talking here about the support.
He said, I'm not the
provided
boss of her.
not- are failing to
I'm not the
provide.
boss of her, and she not gonna let me be the boss of her. So that was the question. Does respect, I asked that question, does respect mean that you have to do everything that the person says? Everything that your husband says, the male counterpart, everything that he says, is that respect? Because he's illustrating to the judge, she's saying, Judge, this is what he wants of me, and I comply. And then his response is, no, she doesn't. She does what she wants to do. I'm not the boss of her, and she's not going to let me be the boss of her. So is he supposed to be the boss of her? Is respecting him, listening to everything he says and understanding his reasoning, does she have the right to say, listen, I disagree? This is the reason why I brought this out, because it just highlighted. But let me go so that I can go.
No, Your Honor, not all of the time in ways that I would like for him to be. I would like, when I go out to do Uber, I want to do it without him constantly calling me all the time.
Right.
Wanting me to
I'll be
stop,
scared
and
to death.
then and then he gets mad at me when I don't have any money. How can I make money if he won't let me go out and make the money? Either you want me to be a stay-at-home mom, or you want me to work. Like, you can't have it both ways.
You know what I want you to be, so don't even try that.
Wants me to be a stay-at-home mom.
I want her to, before I was like, if I hold down the family financially and stuff like that, then it'd be beneficial for her to raise the kids, give them principles, advice that we want, teach them, help them with their homes and stuff like that. But I don't want to make her my prisoner. I understand she got her own dreams that she had, and she want to be successful individually like that, and I support her in that. And I encourage, matter of fact, I'm the one who put her through real estate school, and I paid for the final test, and she did good. She got a 96 on it, and I'm proud of her on that.
Mr. Brown, no, wait, Mr. Brown. I get to lean and not to like it, and then you say something make me want to like it. I'm getting dizzy. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Go ahead.
When I was pregnant, actually,
So
after
wait,
I had my last.
again, he wants her to be a stay-at-home mother. That's a very vulnerable position. I spoke about that earlier. That's a very vulnerable position. It's easier said. He says, if I hold down the family finances, that means that for her to be able to fully be attentive to the children, she has to be in her right mind. She has to be stable. She's in postpartum. She's having stress issues. He's not present. And he already showed her that after she had the child. So like, okay, what this is telling me, what this is translating to me is, I cannot necessarily trust you. And if I can't trust you, then it to a certain degree, it begins to compromise the respect that the person is going to have. We're seeing this here, but let me look at this. Jason says she's talking about Uber. That's not paying enough to sacrifice time with your family, in my opinion, unless it's a problem getting their bills paid. And that's what we're going to keep listening to see if there's a problem getting their bills paid. Heru says the husband has to be worthy of leading everything, is going back to money here since her sense of security is not intact. That's what I say too. He has to create an environment for the wife to be her correct polarity feminine. I agree. That's what I'm saying. This is why I said, let me bring this out, because this is excellent. Uber doesn't make much, but a lot of people still have to do it in order to make ends meet. This is very true. That's very true. It brings a cash flow that might not necessarily be there if you're waiting on the every 2 weeks or you're waiting on the every week. It kind of like, it's hot out here in these streets. So the homegirl says she's doing Uber and Lyft. But my question, I'm sorry, I'm that mother who's always saying, well, where are the children? If you had little children, you're doing Uber, Lyft, and you have all of these children, to a certain degree, what Jason is saying is too, like, is it worth going out there as the mother if the children are left uncovered? Like, you see me, if my children are not, they're 99% of the time with me, right now they're with my mother. Like, I don't just leave them. So for me, when you do that, though, there's a lot of things that you're going to give up. There's a lot of things you have to do, not necessarily do without. There's a lot of things you have to say, okay, that's not that important right now. You know what I mean? And so it depends on the level where they are in their relationship. Yeah, and Uber, there's a safety. So the husband is saying to her, there's a safety level with you going out there. It's not like taxi where you got the little plastic thing and somebody can't reach over. Like, they're in your personal car. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
As child, Javon was not supportive of me at all. Your Honor, I have 5 children, 3 from a previous marriage, and I have 2 with Javon. When I had the 2 babies, the last 2 babies, Javon was not. He was out partying while I was at home changing diapers, doing midnight feedings, and the babies are crying. Your Honor, I suffer from postpartum depression.
What Jason said, uh-oh.
Having an alcohol problem, which led to me being an angry drunk. I was drinking 2 bottles of wine per night, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown?
I made a mistake. I wish I would have been more supportive of her.
But
then.
can you
And
tell
I'ma
me
you
why? What was happening?
There's a funky dynamic.
Home from work, and I ain't know nothing about postmatic distress and all that.
Postpartum depression. I got it. Postpartum depression.
He said post-matic distress.
I ain't know nothing about that. And then she being there, we had a big household. Listen, this girl, we had newborns, new babies, small babies, and she wanted to go full time to school, full time to work, and then put the babies in daycare. I'm like, wait, let them be able to start talking first.
We needed money.
She always talk about money. Do she look like she needs some money?
That's, well, and who?
No, she don't. No.
That's because she's working, but
Like Jason said, there's a funky dynamic. He's kind of funny. Do she look like she needs some money? But she's saying we need money, and her thought is that that's a different thought than mine. So I'm kind of coming her young children to go full-time school and full-time work. That means that there's something that happened with the first set of children and that father that put her in a compromising position that she would be willing to sacrifice the thought, the knowing that even though this current man is saying, no, I want you to be present, she's willing to sacrifice that, put the children in daycare because her thought is we need money. That means that he's not, there's a previous injury and a prior concern, and a previous injury and what's the word I'm looking for now? I'm messing with this man. I can't remember what I'm trying to say. There's a previous and a current concern. Sorry. Yeah. See, with the previous kids, that man will never be priority to her. He should have known that. Oh no, Jason. We're gonna press play.
Relax, take a breath, and see what we can do. Because I think you're good people who love one another and are talking past each other.
Javon drank 4 times a week. Up the barbershop until I nurse him back to health, and I can't work, he can't work, and that's why.
Oh, where does the respect come in, or does she lose respect? So now we're getting to figure out that Javon's behavior is less than desirable. And he's not getting up to go to work. He owns his own business, but he's not getting up to go to work to open a barbershop on time. And now it becomes her responsibility to make sure that he goes out to do his responsibility. So she decided to say, forget that. I'm going to just go make sure that we okay by doing it myself. Behind the scenes. We got a little bit more to go. Just something to think about in light of what I was sharing earlier. And what? Oopie. Okay, Haru says just the fact that she has to not wants to work, the family needs the money. That's what she's saying. I mean that by saying she's always going to ensure she can really care of those kids no matter what he says. She should be going to risk that mistake of not being able to. Sounds like a self-worth issue.
What would you do if your spouse tried to keep you from
Abandonment, correct. I would agree with that. She has a previous trauma that she's looking out for. Like, this is not going to happen to me again. A previous issue.
Mrs. Brown, you say Mr. Brown has a drinking problem. Why do you say that?
Your Honor, Javon drinks at least 4 times a week.
Javon.
And when he drinks, he stays up late at night. And then the next day, he's usually cannot go open up the barbershop, nurse him back to health, which is usually about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
What?
And I can't work, he can't work, and that's why we're behind because of his drinking problem.
Do you think you drink too much?
What man don't get off of work and have a beer? She had like
All night?
No, I don't. How many?
Mr. Brown, talk to me. How many beers do you have on any given evening?
On every evening, I have at least 2 or 3 beers.
Did he say every evening?
That's a lot. No, that ain't.
Cutting hair must be stressful.
Say, look, this week, the whole city, would you be stressed
No.
or would it be?
Look at us go.
No, I just figure out something else to do. It's just something that I wind out. I take the edge off after the day. Like I'll be on my feet all day. I'll be working. I'll be having the stress of running the shop. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know, I got a lot of pressure on me. So when I get home, I want to relax.
What do you think she ought to do to de-stress and get the pressure off of her? She's got kids. She's working.
The girl not stressed. That's the problem. She ain't stressed. All the stress
You
comes falling
stress
on me.
me out. What you mean I'm not stressed?
Right. So now, if I stress her out, the woman set the tone of the house. It must be something she doing
You
wrong.
say, Your Honor, everything my fault.
Right,
No,
I got
everything ain't my fault.
I got it.
Your Honor, 3 years ago, I went through, like I was telling you, that I used to be a drinker, an alcoholic. Your Honor, I was very overweight as well. I used to weigh 200 pounds. I just was not a happy person. I went on a spiritual journey where I just cut off all of my hair, did this big chop. I started working out. I stopped drinking. I joined AA and just started
Good
figuring
for
out.
you. Look at that.
So again, we have this. I think we talked about this before. We don't value other people's positions. So in his mind, I need you to stay home. I need you to be sexually accessible when we procreate and create more life, right? And then the thought is that my job is more stressful than your job. When the reality that that's not the case. So we have this imbalance. We have this, unwillingness to see that the other person is contributing in the capacity that they can. And when you make it look a little uneasy, you know what I'm saying? When you make it look a little uneasy, she's uneasy. And therefore she's like, man, forget it. I'm just about to go do the primary thing is to make sure we have some place to live and something to eat. They both need to get those substance abuse issues out of the mix. Yeah, Jason, she said she got it out of the mix. She went on her journey. She cut her hair. She went to AA. And so she cleaned up her substance abuse issue. Heru says she's doing that's a form of gaslighting. Right. Yeah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. We have to learn these terms. We have to learn these terms because these things go into our relationships. Young people coming up, those who don't know why marriages are falling apart and things that are falling apart, it's individual and collective. We have to learn terms like gaslighting and narcissist and deflection. And we see it in the community on a communal level, but it's also on an intimate personal level. And this is why, for me, just comparing some of the real life data to what I'm reading and seeing the commonalities and differences are very helpful so that you can, like Heru just said, you can hear because you know the principle of how it works, So we're going to finish this up. Talking about respect, y'all. Talking about respect.
That's fabulous, isn't it, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, I'm proud of
Mr.
her.
Brown, why don't you tell me about that period in her life? How do you feel about what was going on?
I'm proud of her, and that's one of the main reasons why I make her mind about something.
That's it.
She does it, and that's why it's so frustrating and hurtful. It's like you don't take me serious, you don't take our marriage serious, because I know
You don't
you
take life
capable.
serious,
You don't
okay?
take, and then she
Why do you
wanna-
think she doesn't take your marriage seriously? I really want to
think,
know
you know
that.
what? I think because of that time we were just talking about where she felt like I wasn't supportive of her and she was going through her postpartum depression. I didn't know I should have been there more. Now, if I could have went back in hindsight when I look at it, I feel like I could have been more supportive. I think our marriage took a big hit then, and we still
I
recovering.
think you hit the nail on the head, and I'm going to tell you what to do about it.
And it's like she feels like it's either you did or you didn't. Whether if you were out and you weren't supported, it's a fact that you clearly did something wrong. Like the judge said, you hit it on the head. But even he used terms to kind of say that that's how you felt. But that if that was the reality of what it was, then that's the reality. So when we dismiss each other, that shows a level of disrespect for the other person as a person. You know what I mean? And so he wants her to take the energy that she applied to getting her mind right, because she clearly wasn't in her right mind, to the marriage. But he's not necessarily willing to do the same. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, but I'll just continue for the sake of time. We almost there,
How
y'all.
should you best manage a stressful relationship? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Queen.
It says, how should you best manage a stressful relationship? Be present and communicate. Stay away from drugs. Take a break from each other or seek counseling. Remember we talked about counseling earlier?
Mr. Brown, most people come in here and never get anywhere near pinpointing the source of their difficulties. I think you did that. I think you came in, went through that postpartum depression. It made you angry. She wasn't doing what she needed to do. And you didn't commiserate with her at all. You didn't understand it all, because if you can't see it, you don't really believe it. And if you can't experience it, it can't really be real. She must just be sloughing off. And then you got stuck on, she's not doing enough. You got stuck on that. And now that's the thesis sentence in the paragraph of your marriage. She's not doing right. Those are the things that you remember, the things that she's not doing right. And you're not giving her credit for the things that she's doing. Your Uber, Lyft, real estate, because you were telling me all the pressure is on me with robbing Peter to pay Paul. She's out there trying to make money, but you disrespect that because that doesn't allow her to be sexy when he's with you, but not when she's not with you. Doesn't allow her to cook and to clean. You want her to give you 100% of everything all of the time, and to the extent she doesn't, she's failed. In return, you have absolutely no clue what it is to support her.
Thank you.
Emotionally, a lot of people have their needs, and they understand their needs. And to the extent somebody needs things that you don't need, you don't understand them at all. And I think that's where you are. And I think if you stepped off of what am I getting, what am I getting, what am I getting, and think, what have I got? What have I got? What have I got? You'll find out that you've got an awful lot. She's not going to be able to do it all. She's willing to do a whole lot. Enjoy what she's doing and stop focusing on what she's not. Don't blow it looking for everything when you got most of the things. You with me? You're a good dude. Ease off the pedal a little bit. You driving her crazy? And by extension, me. This matter is adjourned.
She always be saying that. She be like, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go.
In order for me to continue in this marriage, Javon would need to stop drinking, stop demanding sex from me all of the time, and stop preventing me from going to work. And if he doesn't, I want a divorce.
Whoa, she's like, and if he does, so stop drinking, stop demanding sexual gratification. And what else did she say? What was the last one? Oh, and stop stopping her from going to work. And if he doesn't, she says she's out, right?
My wife thinks I make a lot of demands. I don't think I make any other demands than another husband.
Now, Javon says they broke up. Javon and Rashonda. I like to look at the after show. Javon and Rashonda broke up. Javon says he feels Rashonda was just using him to help her get financially secure. They are currently fighting over custody of their children. Very, very, very interesting. And that's how that one ends. That's how that one ends. I think a lot of the points that was trying to be made. He needs a second wife for his. Yeah, Jason better stop. You know what? No, because it's only going to be the same issue. If you have an issue in one space, you're going to replicate it in the other. You're going to be doing something that's against the natural design of intimacy. You're going to be doing contra somebody, blocking of something. So that's only gratification without the responsibility of what you create. And that's what a lot of people are not realizing, that we're fostering in this world. Why he thinks that he can have access to front 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. And then when the children come, you can go to the club. When the children come, you leave her. If you have 4 or 5 wives, right, and you're still that same person, then there's still a deficit because there's more feminine energy and a lack of masculine energy. It's only one masculine energy that's procreating with all these feminine energies. And at the end of the day, you have all of these single mother these simulated single mother cells. You see it in the Mormon community. You see it in some Hebrew spaces in the community where you have all of these children. You have the man who had his sexual gratification, and then you have all these women raising children without the masculine energy to balance the conversation. It still creates an imbalance. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yep, because he's still going to drink and not go to work. He's still. And his thought process through it all is, I'm going to make all these demands. Back to the respect and why your woman doesn't respect you. I'm going to make all of these demands. In her case, they were unrealistic. Your behavior didn't warrant me following you, right? Because I'm going to have to now, not me, her, I'm going to have to come and clean you up and sober you up and baby you up and get you to work. This is what her complaint is, and you're still not bringing in enough of the household. Like Heru said, I know you was joking, but that's what somebody would say. Well, if you can't keep up, just go ahead and get somebody else. And it's like you're just gonna rep and had. No, he don't need no second wife. I saw the one when a man had 19 children, and the judge is like, wait, this is off topic, but can you name all 19 of those children's names? Can you name these children? And he sat there for a good little minute trying to, like you Raymond Raindorf's, like, Peter, let me see, where Div was there, like, I know I forgot one or two. And she's like, well, how many different baby mothers you have? 8. 19 children, 8 baby mothers, all these women with no men. So they're still imbalanced. You see what I'm saying? It's still an imbalance. With this particular show, as I was, doing what I was doing in here, I'm like, this is where we get the perfect illustration of how people may have had respect, how they lose respect, and how just because a man is a man, he may demand respect because he's a man, but his behavior doesn't warrant it. Sounds like Antonio Cromartie. Who's that? Cromartie? I don't know who that is, Jason. Who's that? Who's Antonio? But anywho, because I'm going to come back a little later, I'm going to go ahead and chop this one short here and go back on the road. Yeah, like I said, let me see if I can type in. Yummy Cottage is up and running. We are able to ship now. Yummy Burgers and all. For some reason. For some reason, I don't know if I could type while I'm on the phone here. If I can't, then yeah. Let me see here. What's this? Oh, no. Who's that, Jason? Antonio. I don't know who that is. Oh, no. Are you sure you .com? That's the name. You could go over there, check us out. Share it with those who may be local, even if you're not local. Can this thing stop now? I don't know what I touched, y'all. This thing won't come off the screen. Oh, there. Send me a price list. Yeah, if you go on the site, you'll see. Sorry, the prices, like I said, right now we're just shipping to the 48 states because it's refrigerated shipping for most of the stuff. That's what we have right now. So it's theyummycottage.com. Check it out. Yeah, we ship to Virginia. East Coast. The West Coast is a little, the West Coast still, but the West Coast is a little because it all goes by you know what I'm saying? And so I ship USPS right now until, we get other shipping things on board if somebody wants to do over discuss. But for right now, the shipping is, you go to the site and check it out. If you have any questions, just let me know. Lastly, he was an NFL player with like 14 kids or something. They did a special on him and asked him to name. Really? That's a shame, man. That is an absolute shame. That dude, yeah, he had 19. He was like, I forgot to. So like, look, hear the joke now. 5 minutes must have passed, and the judge was way on to something else. He was like, oh yeah. No, the case was over. So, the guy outside asked him, yo, did you ever remember the last two? And he was like you don't want to say, yeah, Tom and Eliza. And he was like, oh yeah, he was thinking hard about that. Anyway, speaking of Tom and Eliza, y'all tune in later. We're going to see what's going on with young Eliza, because Eliza is breaking rank. She has ran away. The slave traders after her. And Tom is over there waiting his fate to be sold down to the deep, dirty South. So join us as we read Uncle Tom's Cabin. When I get there, I'll give y'all a link to this thingy thing so y'all can see that episode yourself. It's Brown versus Brown. That was the episode. And yeah, thank you guys for your input. Because somebody somewhere is reading this. This is what I realized about YouTube and sharing, is that it doesn't always mean that somebody will find it, but somebody, yeah, you hope she could get away. Yeah, we're going to see what happens tonight. Sometimes people come to the internet looking for answers, right? People say, well, Amuna, why you share so much? Why you do what you do? Because I understand what it's like to like looking for answers, and everybody, the norm, the everyday people are saying the same rhetoric, and you're looking and you're looking and you can't find something that really resonates with you. Either people are talking about celebrity gossip all day long, or they're just talking about different things all day long that don't speak to your problem. And so when we do things like this and we touch on topics and we pull our collective experiences and thoughts, people are going to be reading, not only just listening to what I'm saying. That's why I encourage you to write, respectfully, of course. They're going to be reading the comment section. You're going to say something that sparks a thought in their mind. They're going to go on and research. That's what happened to me that opened this whole trip that I'm on over the last, let me say, about 10, 11 years, is just understanding the deficits. Like, what? What's that? What's a narcissist? What's gaslighting? I had no idea, because it was just like this web of madness around my mind. And then I'm like, what's all that? And I start searching, and I promise you, it's just like it just opened up. You begin to understand what you're experiencing and how to make your way through. You know what I mean? So I always want to give back, because there's going to be somebody somewhere struggling with something. You may never know their name and may never see their face, but then you be thankful because you were just that sign that pointed them in a good direction, So share your thoughts. With that said, let me see. I choose good topics to discuss. Thank you, Church. It's stuff that just be popping in my mind now, especially when you have been in relationships with them. Trust me, yeah. When you don't know, nothing ain't worse than being in a relationship with a narcissist. What a narcissist is. And you think it's you being gaslit, you being manipulated, you being exploited, you being toyed with, and you are like in your own personal Hades. You know what I mean? You're no longer yourself. They've convinced you to do everything and all things, because they convinced you that it was you. And if you are the type of person who is codependent, or if you're that type of people pleasing type of individual, and you have your own issues, man, shoot, you'll be praying to get off that roller coaster. You just want to do everything yourself. You wake up and look in the mirror and wonder, who am I? Right? And and especially if you have children in that situation, or if you don't have strength to fight, or if you don't have the resources to stand on your own feet, it's not a nice feeling. It taxes you. Yep, it drains you. I have a child with one. They can be mastered through. Yeah. Yep. They use children. They use anything. They use jobs. It depends. And what I say about even just these personality issues and maladaptions is that they have similar ways, but they manifest differently based on the personality of that individual, and so this is where it's going to take, it's going to take a step back to be able to observe the ways in which you're being manipulated, to be able to deactivate the trigger, to be able to see what in you they're using to manipulate you. Sometimes it's going to be finance, it's going to be resources, it's going to be attention, it's going to be access to people, access to relationships. It's going to be an attack on your self-worth. It's going to be through your children. It's going to be through all of these means. And like Haru said, it robs you. It sucks your energy. It drains you. And then it throws you off course, and you can't act. So this kind of stuff is very important, and I thank you all for tuning in and for sharing your thoughts and helping someone somewhere on their journey. Yep, everything can be weaponized. And it is. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of the narcissist. With that said, everybody have a blessed day. I'll see y'all a little later. 3 times in one day, y'all. 3 times in one day. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and head out.